Finally bringing up the rear, huh? Pretty long hearing. You guys thought you were done, and then we keep walking back in, right? Ms. Hamady, great to speak with you yesterday. I hear because I'm late that some of my other colleagues asked about technology. Oh, I was going to channel Don Young. Hey, come on, what are you guys doing? The dean of the delegation, the dean of the House. In all seriousness, Ms. Hamady, you mentioned that the technology is not there yet for states like Illinois that will be on a path to legalize marijuana. My concern is how do we get technology up to the forefront to be able to do a roadside test, just like we do with impaired drivers due to alcohol consumption. And you mentioned in your response that the technology is not here yet, but others are working on it, right? Do you have anything else to add?
Right. We've recommended that DOT and HHS work together to provide additional testing mechanisms like oral fluid testing and hair testing. And in addition to just the testing, in the meantime, NHTSA can issue guidance to states, as I mentioned, for law enforcement officers to clarify when people should be tested, what types of drugs they should be tested for, and cutoff levels for testing. That guidance has not gone out yet. But in addition, training for law enforcement officers. I mentioned a couple of programs to you yesterday that NHTSA has for advanced training for law enforcement officers. Basic training is the standard field sobriety testing for law enforcement officers. But NHTSA has two programs, one called the A-RIDE program and one called DRE, which it's an advanced roadside impaired driving enforcement program, and the drug recognition expert training, which provides 72 hours of classroom training and 40 to 60 hours of field training, which makes them highly skilled at detection and identification of impairment. And very few officers are trained at those levels, so we encourage additional training.
Right, thank you. And I apologize, my team forgot the WWE belt I promised you yesterday.
I was hoping to wear it for my opening statement.
My apologies to you and your entire team. Chief, first off, I want to say thank you. And if you could please relay my thanks to many of my teammates for the courageous actions of your three officers who saved us all one fateful morning in Alexandria a few years ago. So thank you for that, and please, again, relay our thanks to them. I don't think they get enough credit for that.
Thank you, sir. I will.
Thank you. In my home state of Illinois, Chief, we have had 15 officers struck this year already while outside of their vehicles. We have a law called Scott's Law in Illinois that protects our law enforcement officials, our Good Samaritans, and even our tow truck drivers who are on the side of the roadways trying to help motorists who are stranded. We are looking to expand Scott's Law in Illinois. And I noticed this isn't a law in every state. What type of activities would you recommend we do at the national level to stop the carnage that we've seen of our law enforcement officers and our Good Samaritans and tow truck drivers that we're seeing in Illinois?
Well, actually, NHTSA has actually taken a position of supporting the move over, at least in concept. But you're right, there's a lot of differences between the states. My former agency, the California Highway Patrol, just lost a sergeant just a couple days ago over this very same thing. That's actually a disincentive in some cases for law enforcement to engage in traffic safety, because oftentimes they're exposed when they go out there. And so any way we can protect the highway worker, and that's not just the cop and the tow truck officers, in many cases the person from DOT who's working on the road to repair a roadway is paramount. It's a paramount issue. Move over laws work. They're difficult to enforce sometimes because usually there's congestion or other issues around it. But if you can get some level of compliance, it provides a buffer, and I think that would be appropriate to put in to some authorization to encourage that at some point.
Well, thank you. This is something that we have not experienced at this level in my home state before. It's happened for many years, and it's something that obviously we need to address, especially with distracted driving and other issues that have caused these terrible, tragic accidents, especially in the wake of technology and technological advances in our automobiles. I rented a car this weekend and was driving around, and it notified me every time it thought I went outside the lane. I mean, at some point, we've got to recognize technological advances to assist in saving the lives of the brave men and women who wear that same uniform you do. Thank you for your time to each and every one of you, and I yield back no time that I have.